Right. So quadrants. We have four quadrants. We have all school teachers' costs. So the first quadrant, all trig ratios are positive. All values are going to be positive. In the second one, only sine is going to be positive. In the third one, only tan. And in the last one, what was the only one that'll be positive in the last one? See if you can tell me. Come on, Nicholas. What is positive in the last one?
Us.
And let me show you, if any of you want to know why that is the case, let me show you. So, Nicholas, I want you to look at the graph from 0 to 90. 0 to 90. And all the values will be positive from 0 to 90.
Yeah,
Okay, let me look at the cost graph now. 0 to 90 and all the values positive.
yeah,
Yeah. Right? So watch this, right? 0 to 90, all is positive. And if we look at the tan graph, well, the same story, 0 to 90, all positive. You understand why we're saying 0 to 90 is all positive.
yeah.
Let me look at 90 to 180. If we look at 90 to 180 for the tan graph, is it positive?
Negative.
Negative. So that can't be in the second quadrant. Let me look at the cos graph. Um, that's minus cos x. Let me look at cos x. Yeah. 90 to 180. Positive or negative?
Negative.
We look at sine now. 90 to 180.
92 on 80.
Yeah, 90 to 180.
Positive.
Positive, right? Watch. That's this region over here. I'll give you a positive read off. So that's the general concept for quadrants. If you didn't know, now you know. That's how they get the quadrants by looking at the graphs. Certain regions are positive and certain regions are negative. Right? So I'll give you all some time to copy this down. So and the name of the topic is quadrants. Let me go on to the page. Right. So we start in quadrants. Right? And the quadrants look like this. We have four quadrants. Kirsten, I have a question. Did you ever hear any of your teachers curse? Have you ever? Um, Nicholas, didn't you hear Rocky curse?
Yeah,
That, that was in your class, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, when he cussed up, the boy. Uh,
Plenty because
what is it?
plenty different times because
Plenty what?
plenty different times because
Plenty differences after he cussed up, out.
so I mean like before that and after that there are plenty different times because
It didn't stop.
yeah,
Oh, long time teachers used to cuss like breeze, right?
yeah,
That was like normal. Right. So let me look at what the A stands for. You can remember it like this. All school teachers cuss. So the A means that everything is positive. It means everything is positive. The S means that only sign is positive. Sign is positive. T tan is positive, and C cosine is positive. The next thing you all have to know is the position of the reference angle in each quadrant. Nicholas, have you ever heard the term reference angle before? Reference
I think so, but I don't really remember.
alpha, alpha.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing you just draw over here.
Um,
Ring a bell?
yeah,
And then you go draw it over here if you want to try to figure out the angle. Yeah, we call that the reference angle. If you didn't know, now you know. Right, so I'll go let me know how fast are they taking down your notes. Oh, and I want to acquaint you all with how we could also look. So instead of using degrees, what is something they could use instead?
radians.
Right, and that would look like this. So it could look like zero. Well, I don't want to change the zero. I could change it to 2 pi. This 90 could change to what?
Pi,
Pi over 2.
half, yeah,
This 180 could turn to,
just pi alone.
right? This 270.
3 pi over 4.
No, 3 pi over 2. Yeah, 3 pi over 2. Because 3 by pi, that's 3 by 180, that's 540. And 540 divided by 2 is 270, right? So copy that down. And let me show you all what I mean by position of reference angles of the reference angle in each quadrant. Yeah, so Nicholas and Kirsten, please let me know when you will have this copy down. Right, and alpha is the reference angle we'll be looking at. And it's present in all the other quadrants, even if you don't see it. And we use the reference angle to figure out all the other angles. That's the purpose of it. Okay, Kirsten. All right, I write down a little piece over there. In addition, I want you all to put the alpha in the second diagram. The alpha is the reference angle. It exists primarily in the first quadrant. When we are doing questions, we'll consider that alpha is in the first quadrant. Nicholas, you let me know when you have that copy down.
Alright, I just
All right, it's in real big here, like Bigfoot with the hill. It's real big. That's crazy. Let's change the size of this. Right, because we're gonna start quadrants. Cool. Let me show you all an example. Let me show you all an example. So, Kirsten, you were there last class. If you recall, I explained that there are multiple answers for the same thing. For instance, if I ask you what value for x, given you 1, have multiple answers. When x is 90, you get 1. When x is minus 270, you get 1. If I continue drawing it, I go end up with 450. One is 450 is also 1. So there are multiple solutions for the same thing. And that's the purpose of the quadrants. They allow us to find multiple solutions. But the first thing you have to do is find the reference angle. Now, Nicholas, where did I say the reference angle is primarily in?
Alpha.
No, where did I say alpha is primarily in? Alpha primarily exists where?
Alpha primarily exists in the first quadrant.
Right, so you need to find alpha in the first quadrant. Um, Present. Are we going to consider that as it in the first quadrant? Awesome. So have one right here. Okay, so Nicholas, I want you to give this a read for now.
Find the angles where cos x equals a half between 0 is less than equal to x less than equal to 360 degrees.
Let me explain something, right? Don't get tired of this. All this mean is that they want you to give them all the answers between 0 and 360. That's what it means. That's what that notation means. That just means from 0 to 360. That's what it means. It means 0 to 360. So the first step, we have to figure out the reference angle in the first quadrant. And when you're finding the reference angle, you're going to call it alpha. So Nicholas, if we have cos x is equal to a half, and I want to find the reference angle. To find the reference angle alpha, what I do is I would find the inverse of a half. That is what I would do. What would the reference angle be? What is cos inverse of a half? Since we are working in degrees, make sure your calculator is in degrees.
Is 60.
Right. So from that, look what I could decide. I could draw my graph like this now. So I have a 60 over here. So I'm gonna draw in the position of my reference angle in all my quadrants. That's what I'm gonna do. Right, guys? All right. And next step. Nicholas, I want you to look at something. Cos x was positive or negative,
Positive.
right? So cos x was positive. If it is positive, which quadrants does it exist in?
Um, EA and ES.
It will be positive in A and S?
Yeah.
No. What is the only thing that's positive in this quadrant?
Sign alone.
Yeah, so cos
Oh,
calculus
so
is
you
there.
mean A and C.
Where's it?
A and C.
A and C, that's correct. Now, when you're reading off your answers, look at how you're going to do it, right? You're going to start my Apple Pencil folder. Yeah, you're going to start when you're measuring angles. You start. Okay, so I'm just put a note to the side. When measuring angles, anytime you're measuring angles, you have to measure it like this. So you start from 0 degrees and you go in an anti-clockwise motion until you encounter the line. So let me explain what I'm talking about. So my answer will be located in this quadrant and in this quadrant. So for me to take the read off of my angles, I'll do it in this manner. So we are going to start from the 0 and we're going to go in an anti-clockwise manner until we reach the line. So Nicholas, how much degrees is that?
C.
Look at, where's it?
That is 60 degrees.
Right, so my first answer for theta is 60 degrees. Now, is that my only solution?
Uh,
That's not my only solution. So let's figure out the other solution. So I'm going to start again from the 0 degrees and I'm going to go in an anti-clockwise motion until I reach the fourth quadrant and then I'm going to stop when I reach the line. How am I going to figure out that angle I just not drew?
well, all the way around is 360, so minus 60 from 360.
Right, because it come like a stop in 60 degrees before 360. And
Yeah,
right, makes sense. Right. Right, so the other answer would have been 360. Well, I just put 300 degrees. So the answer in the first quadrant was just 60. The answer in the second, sorry, not second, the answer in the fourth quadrant would have been 360 degrees minus 60 degrees, which is equal to 300 degrees. So your two answers are 60 and 300. And if you want to double check it, this is what you can do. In your calculator, I want you all to put cos 60. Put cos 60 and let me know what you're getting. Cos 60. What are you getting for cos 60?
half
A half. And where's the other answer you're going to check?
was 300,
Right, check that for
half a little.
me. So are you correct?
Yeah,
That's see, understand the general concept, right?
yeah.
Some things I want to add in. Look at where the reference angle primarily exists in. The reference angle primarily exists in the first quadrant. So if it exists in the first quadrant, that means alpha always has to be what?
Um, Positive.
Right, because in the first quadrant, everything is positive. So it has to be positive. Should have mentioned that at the start. Right, so I want everybody to take this down. Every single thing is seen on your screen. Once you all have everything on the screen, let me know. And this is the proof here. Proof. Yeah, so Kirsten, if there's anything that's confusing you, let me know. Is the part where I figure out the 360 minus 60 confusing you? Let me know if anything confusing you, because I'm gonna give you all a question. Okay, no problem. Kirsten, is it possible for you to unmute so we could directly talk about it? If you could unmute, drop in the chat or let me know if you could unmute, and I'll explain it back. All right, no problem. So I'm gonna go over back the general concept again one more time. In these questions, you have to find the reference angle first. Now, using the reference angle, I can locate all my other answers. The reference angle is in your first quadrant primarily. So to figure that out, what you're going to do is you are going to find the inverse of whatever you get. So we have cos x is equal to a half. So my reference angle will be the inverse of a half. So my reference angle is 60. So if you're with me so far, you need to find your reference angle. The reference angle is just the inverse or whatever it is, the positive, and that is in the first quadrant. Let me know if you're with me so far. So I know that 60 is over there. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put in the 60 in all the other quadrants in this manner. So I have my reference angle here in the first quadrant. I have it here in the second quadrant, like so in my third quadrant, and like so in the fourth quadrant. Now, Kirsten, can you tell me our answer for cos, was it positive or negative? Positive or negative? Cosine, was it positive or negative? What is a half? Positive or negative? Kirsten, I want you to explain to me how a half is negative. That's that's a bit weird. Tell me why a half is negative. Is a half negative? A half can be written as 0.5. Doesn't have any negative sign there. So is a half positive or negative? Positive, right? So if a half is positive, which quadrants does my answer exist in? Which quadrant does my answer exist in? If it is positive, a half is positive. Where does my answer exist in? Which quadrants? Where is cosine positive? In the first quadrant, everything is positive. In the second quadrant, only sine is positive. In the third quadrant, only tan is positive. In the last quadrant, only cosine is positive. So which quadrants would cosine be positive in? See if you can tell me that. See if you can tell me that, Kristen. Where would cosine be positive in? Which quadrant for sure? Drop in the chat. Also, I see Kiara join.
Hi, Reggie.
Hello, hello, Kiara.
Hi. I still am a join for a little bit because I on work now. So whenever a patient come, then I will have a go.
Big lady Kiara, boy, big lady. Kirsten, I want you to explain to me why you're saying that it would be in the third quadrant. What is positive in the third quadrant? So watch. This is the first quadrant, this is second, and this is third. What is positive in the third quadrant? Oh, yeah, type from any chat. What's positive in the third? What's positive in the third quadrant? Drop in the chat. What is positive in the third quadrant? What trig function starts with T? T. Yeah, the third one, tan, would be positive, but we don't care about tan enough. We want to know where cos is positive. So where would cos be positive? It definitely wouldn't be here because tan is positive there. What about over here? You think it'll be positive over here? Would cosine be positive in the second quadrant? No, only sine would. What about over here? What is positive in the first quadrant? What is positive in the first quadrant? So in the first quadrant, everything is positive. All. Everything is positive. So do you think cosine could be over there? Yeah. And will cosine be positive here? Awesome. So once you locate where your answers would be, now you proceed. So when measuring angles, you're going to start from 0 degrees and you're going to go in an anti-clockwise manner until you hit the line. So Kirsten, what angle does that measure? I start from 0, I went in an anti-clockwise and I hit the line. What angle did that measure? Come on, what angle did that measure? So that measures 60 degrees. That measures 60 degrees, watch. Because this is the 60, it measures 60 degrees. Now, that's the answer in the first quadrant. For the answer in the second quadrant, I'm gonna draw my angle anti-clockwise, and I'm gonna go until I hit the line, right? The reason why I'm not stopping over here or over here is because my answer will not be there. Cosine will only be positive in the first and fourth quadrant. So I'm gonna start from 0. I'm gonna go anti-clockwise until I stop here. Now, Kristen, if I were to continue, I would end up at what angle? If I make a full circle, what angle is that? If I make a full circle, what angle is that? A full revolution. Drop in the chat. 360. Well, let me ask you a question, Kristen. If this is 360 and then this is 60, what would the angle here be? See if you can tell me that. So, one more time. This whole angle here is 360. But you are stopping 60 degrees before that. What angle would that be then? So if you make a full revolution, that's 360. What if you stop 60 degrees before 360? So you stop in 60 degrees before 360. See if you could figure out the answer for me. 300, yeah. Right? So my two answers are 60 and 300. And if you wanted to double check, go in the calculator and put cos 60. You're supposed to get a half because the question was asking you what values of x will give you a half. So put it into the calculator and you're supposed to get a half. Cos 60 is a half and cos 300 is a half. So you're correct. Awesome. So let me give you all a question now. So I'm going to change up things a little bit now. I want you all to find the answer where is negative. Hmm. That changes up things a little bit. So I want you all now to use the previous one as an example to figure out part two. For those having trouble with the quadrants, I will provide this for you all. Check it out. So Kirsten, if you're having trouble with the quadrants, you could use this. So the answer in the first quadrant would just be alpha. The answer in the second quadrant would be 180 minus alpha. The answer in the third quadrant would be 180 plus alpha. And the angle in the fourth quadrant will be 360 minus alpha. But if you all could figure it out in the exam, that's even better. But if you're having a hard time, use that. Right? So, Nicholas, you see in question two? Oh, yeah, I'll zoom up more.
Let's zoom in a little.
Sure. I want to.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I'll zoom in a little more. I want to.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kiara then just now.
No, not really. Kinda.
Yeah, he's a dentist. Coming by you, you know.
Okay, that's great. I'll
How to
get P.
how to get like 10 teeth pull out?
Get what?
How to get like 10 teeth pull out?
Why so much? Why are you waiting so long?
I
Come fill
joke,
it out now.
I joking. You have your books on hunting? Or
No, I
yeah.
rang last minute because I wasn't sure what time the first patient would be.
Mm,
But the first patient is 9:30. But I don't have my books. So
right.
next time I'll need to walk with them just in case.
Well, I'll show you how writing material hunting.
Yeah.
Try it. No excuses.
Okay.
I remember back in the day when my relative was in the hospital, I was doing work hunting, you know. I care sound like them old people. But you know what I mean? The parents when they say they had to walk school hunting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So Kirsten, drop in the chat if you You know where to begin. The first step is always to find for your what? Your what angle. So that's what R. Hmm? My aunt said the wrong thing. It's the reference angle. You need to find your reference angle. You need to locate where the reference angle is so you can figure out all the other angles. Because all the other angles would be in reference to the angle. That's why we call it reference angle. Nicholas, you know what to do?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let me ask you a question, right? When you find your reference angle, are you gonna find cos inverse of negative a half or positive a half?
Um, Positive.
Right. Kirsten, keep that in mind, eh? Look at what I said earlier. Look at what I said earlier. I said that um alpha has to be positive because it is in the first quadrant. Kirsten, what do we know about the answers in the first quadrant? In the first quadrant, everything is drop in the chat fast. Everything is what in the first quadrant? In the first quadrant, everything is positive. So, guys, if any of you all found negative a half, you're doing wrong things. To find alpha, alpha is actually equal to cos inverse of a half. So always find the positive. Mhm. And Kirsten, if you want, you could tell me what quadrant your answer would be in. Would it be in first, second, third, or fourth? Or just tell me how much, where would your answer be in? And tell me, Kirsten, is cosine positive or is cosine negative? Tell me all that information. Tell me, Kirsten, is cosine positive in this question or is cosine negative in this question? I don't know, Gotta tell me. Okay, so cosine you said is negative. So where would that exist? Which quadrants would cosine be in? Where is cosine negative? In which quadrants? Tell me in the chat. Yeah, so tell me, Kirsten, where would cosine be negative? Yes, perfect. So in the second and in the third quadrant. Excellent. So here what you you should know what to do from now. Yeah, you should know what to do from now. So figure it out. Nicholas, when was the last time you went Harry's water park, buddy?
I never gone there since like even when I was real small.
Hmm. And is Harry water park the one in Davy?
Oh, the one in the way here is fun splash.
Oh, I mean Fun Splash. When was
Harry's real nice. I love the slides. I went out when you went once too, but it's real nice.
better than Five Islands?
I feel like Five Islands is more like an amusement park, where Harry's is a water park. You know,
I never
they
went
have
to.
more slides than Harry's.
Okay. Okay. I went Harry's before. I mean not Harry's, Fun Splash. I went Fun Splash. Never went Harry's or Five Islands.
The quadrants will be second and third quadrants.
Yep, the second and the third quadrant. And what did you all find for alpha? What was the reference angle?
60.
60. Will that 60 be part of your solution? Is cos 60 negative a half?
Cos 6. Um, cos,
Come on fast, yes or no? Is 60 part of your solution? Didn't hear any questions. I didn't hear any answers. Is 60 degrees part of your solution, guys? If you put 60 into cos, will you get negative a half? Yes or no?
will be positive. Yeah, man.
What is it?
So it can be positive a half.
Yeah, it'll be positive a half. So that would not be part of my solution, right? Yes or no? I need to
Right.
confirm. Would 60 degrees be one of your answers? Would it give you negative a half?
Two answers again is not 60 degrees.
Right. Wait, so 60 degrees is not your solution. However, you need to find the 60 degrees to locate the other angles. So that's why you're finding the 60 to locate the other angles. But 60 itself is not part of the solution.
Retrieve,
Kiara,
retrieve. So
Ki
it's like to find like your values, right? So it's like kind of like the 180 plus the answer we get, well, the part that we get.
yep,
So like say 60, so it would be 180 plus or minus for both.
not plus or minus. It'd be 180 plus 60. And then 360. Well, we're not dealing with the fourth quadrant. Oh, I now understand why I said plus or minus because
Yeah, I mean like
like
180 minus 60, 180 plus 60.
yeah.
I
So here what? Kiara, do you think 60 is part of your solution?
I mean yeah, because
No,
you need
no,
it.
no,
No,
no.
no?
Will cos 60 give you negative a half? Will
Oh,
cos 60 give you negative a half? No. It will give you
no.
positive a half.
Okay. I think I understand.
The only reason you need that 60 is to find the position of the other angles, to find the other angles now. That's why you need it. We call it the reference angle because all the other angles would be in reference to it. That's why you need to find it. Big brain.
Oh, okay.
Second
Christian,
answer.
Christian, sure. I will send the information. I will send the information. Nicholas, did you verify it with your calculator?
The answer is also here.
Oh, I see you make a little mistake, right? Alpha is not equal to that. Alpha is your reference angle. What I'm supposed to be equal to is x is equal to. So you're supposed to say x is equal to 180 minus 60. You're supposed to say x is equal to 180 plus 60 because you're not trying to find for alpha there. You're trying to find for x. Let's fix that. But those are the correct solutions. Right. So Kiera and Kristen, I want you all to pay attention. I'll explain the concept. Now, if in the exam, hear what guys, I just explaining this all, you understand it. But in the exam, all you could remember this and just beat the question out fast. But I prefer if all you understand the concept. Because sometimes they go ask you for more than 2 pi. And then you go, I don't know what to do. You can't guess it. So let me begin. Kirsten, why for my reference angle did I say cos inverse of a half and not minus a half? Yeah, why did I say a positive a half instead of negative a half? So, because the reason I'm saying that is because your reference angle, it exists in the first quadrant. It primarily exists in the first quadrant, and everything is positive in the first quadrant. So for me to find the reference angle alpha, I'm going to find cos inverse of a half. So what did you all get for alpha? You all should have gotten 60 degrees. And it's important to note that the 60 degrees is not part of your solution. This is not part of your solution, not part of your solution because simple reason, Nicholas, will cos 60 give you negative a half?
Cos 60
Yeah, will cos 60 give you negative a half?
or positive.
Yeah, so that's not part of the solution then, right? Simple yes or no?
Yeah, it's not part of this.
Right, because a half cannot be the same as negative a half. Right. And I write in this in bold. Then why we finding for alpha? Kira, go ask that question like this. She would be like, Rajiv, then why are we finding for alpha? That's exactly how Kira would sound, I imagine.
Yes, Rajiv, why are we trying to find for alpha?
Like, if you're like, what? If that's not my answer, then why? What? Okay, okay. We find it for alpha because we use it to locate the actual answers, right? So alpha helps us locate the answers. That's why we use alpha as a reference. Another thing, at the start of the question, it was noted that cosine was negative. If cosine is negative, which quadrants am I answering? If cosine is negative, which quadrants my answer gonna be in? Cosine is negative. Let me just put in my reference angle fastly.
Would it like
Yeah, Kiara, let me hear. Where would
like would it be in like the positive because like it's like would it like I
wait?
don't know if you know what I mean.
So cosine is negative. In which quadrant would cosine be negative in? In the first quadrant, everything is positive. So can it be in the first quadrant?
No,
In the second quadrant, only sine is positive. What does that say about the others?
everything else negative.
Okay, so would cosine be negative there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Would cosine be negative here?
Mm, no, no, that is tan and that is tan positive, so
Right. So cosine would be
negative here.
right. And over here now.
It's cosine positive.
So where would my answers be then?
In those. Okay, okay, I understand.
Right. So here what? And we use the positioning of the reference angle to figure out everything, as you will see. That's the only reason of the reference angle. It's like map from Dora the Explorer. Cool. So watch this. Uh, right. So Kiara, just remind me, where are my answers? Where are my answers again? Tell me, where are my answers?
And sine and tan positives will be there on the left
Right.
side.
Let me just put in these values real quick. This is 0, this is 90, this is 180, and this is 270, and this is 360. Awesome. When we are measuring the angle, you're starting from the 0 degrees and you're going in an anti-clockwise manner until you reach the line. This is what I mean. You understand what I mean? I went anti-clockwise. I start from 0 and I stop when I reach the line. Simple.
Yeah.
Right. And this is I showing all of this in case I'll forget this in the exam. I showing all how to come up with it. So Kiara, it come like you stop 60 degrees before what angle? You stop 60 degrees before what angle? Tell me.
Wait, what did you say? I didn't hear properly.
It come like you stop 60 degrees before what angle?
180.
Right. So if you stop 60 degrees right before 180, what angle does that make it?
You stop 60, 120.
Yeah, and that is why in the second quadrant we're saying 180 minus alpha,
Okay.
right? So in the second quadrant, that would be equal to 180 minus 60. And now in the third quadrant, Kirsten, I want you to tell me, right? In the third quadrant, I'm going to start from the 0 and I'm going to go like so. Yeah, Kirsten, so I want you to tell me, what you notice? That come like it went 180 plus what other angle? So you went 180 degrees and you went what? How much more? Explain. So if you notice, I went 180 degrees, and after I went 180, what angle did I go after? Kirsten. So I went 180 degrees, and then I went how much degrees after? Yeah, we went 60 more degrees. So to figure out this full angle, I would say 180 plus 60. And that's why in the third quadrant, you see in 180 plus alpha. So we understand the concept. We ready for them. So guys, Nicholas, I noticed that you said alpha. We're not trying to find for alpha. We found for alpha at the start. We are really trying to find for the values of what? Look at the question.
X.
We're trying to find the values for x. Watch. X. So my answers for x would be equal to 120, right? Comma 240. And if you want to see if your answer is correct, what can you do? Tell me, Nicholas, if you want to know if your answer is correct, what can you do?
Um, you could put cos 120 in here and then cos 140.
Yeah, so do that. Put cos 120. And Kira, you don't have a calculator. Kirsten, I want you to put cos 240. Cos 240. Negative a half. So Kirsten, enter the question, they wanted to find the angles that would give us negative a half. So does 240 give us a negative a half? Yeah, so our answer is correct then. Simple. So I think you all should be able to do one entirely by all yourself. Right, just make sure you have everything copied down here. Before I move on, let me know. Nicholas, you have everything there?
Yeah.
Kirsten, how about you?
Richie, so I just have a question, right? So on the right side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right side top thingy. That is everything positive.
Everything positive.
Not there. Not in the question. On the little box on the side. The A positive. That is everything.
Yeah, all the angles, well, all the trig ratios will give you something positive. And
Okay.
let me explain why. Your mind gonna be blown. Your mind gonna be blown. Watch this, right? Remember last class we do graphs? And you do that last class?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're saying that all positive from 0 to 90. And now what they're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look at sine. Everything is what? If you take some read-offs between 0 and 90, everything is what?
Positive.
Okay. Let me look at cosine graph now. And so where they get the quadrants from, eh? Between 0 and 90, everything is?
Positive.
Yeah. And now for the tan graph between 0 and 90, everything is? Watch. Between 0 and 90.
090. Positive.
Yeah, yeah. And then they're saying, what they saying next? They're saying between what angle is sine positive? 90 to 180, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if that's true. Between 90 and 180, will it give positive answers?
Yep.
Okay. How about cosine graph now between 90 and 180? Positive answers or negative answers?
Positive.
Shawara, look at where it is there. This is
It
0.
going down.
What this is
Right.
positive. And then this whole thing
Oh,
will be
and then the graph itself going down. So it'll be negative.
yeah, what? Between 90 and 180, this is how you're going.
Mm.
So if you take read-offs, it'd be negatives.
Oh, I was reading the graph wrong.
Oh my. And for tan now, look at it. Between 90 to 180, this is how the graph looks like. If you take any read-offs, those read-offs are gonna be
Negative.
yeah, so that's how they come up with the quadrants. Mind blown. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right, so I'm gonna give all a question to do entirely by yourself. I think I'll be ready for this. Think. I want to see full work in it. I want you all to show me the quadrants. I want to see everything proper, like everything had to be properly organized. So find the angles between, sorry, find the angles where tan x is -1 between 0 and 360. So give another let's take 7 minutes. 7 minutes for the most. So by 9:30, I should be getting answers. Kirsten, I want to get an answer from you as well, if possible. Send a picture. By the way, Kiera, guess what time class finished last night?
9:45.
Yeah, about that. And when I checked your recording, but your recording was 2 hours long. So we didn't go that over. We had class for 2 hours. So I mean, it worked out. Yeah, felt long though. Oh, are you going to attempt the difficult question I sent?
I'm doing it right now. I'm not sure if I'm going correct, but we had a draw like in the last question. Sorry, we had a draw that circle thing,
What's the cool thing?
the diagram in a way. We had a draw that.
Are you talking about the physics?
The what?
I'm talking about the physics.
No, I'm talking about the
Eh,
question here. Oh, you talking about physics? Oh,
Yeah, you're
oh,
going
I
to
know.
try the homework question.
Oh, yeah, I'll try it whenever I get time.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, for this question, well, we had a draw the circle thing.
Yeah, I want you all to draw the quadrants.
Okay.
What was the first thing you have to find for? What's the first thing you have to find for?
The first thing I find for was alpha n, like tan
Yeah,
inverse of one.
yeah. So let's tell everybody the answer, but that's correct.
Rajiv, I'm gonna send you the answer and you'll let me know if I'm correct. But I think I had to go
Is that
because I'm gonna send you the answer and you'll
oh,
let me know if I'm correct before I go because the patient reached.
all right, no problem. But you should know if your answer correct. All you have to do is turn whatever and you're supposed to get -1. But
How
come on.
long my calculator to check that?
So how you find your reference angle then?
I asked Nicholas to calculate it for me.
Oh my. Wow. That's crazy. Okay, tell me the answers.
Oh, I was gonna send you a picture, but for the second quadrant, I get 135, and for the fourth quadrant, I get 315.
You're correct. Those two
Okay.
answers. Yeah, those two
My
answers are
diagram, my diagram kind of bad now, because my pen stopped working halfway, so I used multiplying to finish the diagram because I thought I had to send it to you.
no way.
I will send it to you just so you don't share.
Nicholas, here I want you to do for me. I want you to draw the angle. So like I want you to draw the angle starting from 0 and then going to the line in the second quadrant. So that will show you the 135. And now you can do the same thing, go into the fourth quadrant and send me back a picture. I'm talking about like this.
Alright.
Kira, send that fast. I had to see you use a lip liner. Oh, yeah, eyeliner.
Yes, Reggie, look at my masterpiece.
That is actually really good. I post on my status.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I appreciate it. But anywho, I had to go. I
Thank
will.
you. You didn't miss anything. You won't miss anything much.
Oh, so they're just gonna do questions now?
I'm now gonna move on to a new topic.
Oh God. Okay, well I had to watch over the recording either way, so
Pythagoras theorem. It involves Pythagoras theorem.
okay, well I'll watch the recording and see
All right.
what I could. Bye.
Bye bye. Nicholas. Your answer's correct, yeah? I just want to see those arrows. I want to see the arrows.
Yeah, during it over a little bit. Uh,
No problem. And Kirsten, you understand my answer too, eh? Let me know in the chat if you could send my answer. But I need to see an answer. Yeah, Nicholas. Perfect.
alright.
Perfect. Okay. No problem, Kirsten. So, Kirsten, you go help me in the chat, right? Um, Tell me fast. You gotta type fast, right? Because you gotta move on. We're gonna move on to quadrants involving trig ratios and Pythagoras theorem. Mainly Pythagoras theorem. So, Kirsten, tan is positive or negative? Fast, tell me. Tan is positive or negative? Quick, quick movements. Negative. If it's negative, which quadrants will it be in? If tan is negative, which quadrants? Sine or cos? So it will be in the second, and don't use the word or, say and. They will be in the second and the fourth quadrant, right? Because it's negative. Cool. Let me go ahead and find alpha. Alpha would be equal to tan inverse of what? Tell me, Kirsten. Tan inverse of what? Alpha is tan inverse of -1 or +1. You say a -1? Okay, Nicholas, I want you to tell Kirsten why she cannot say -1.
Because in the alpha always had to be positive.
Yeah, I want you to recall, Kirsten. Look how I said here. Positive, because it is primarily in the first quadrant. Alpha has to always be positive. Look at the previous question. It was cos x is equal to negative a half. But I found cos inverse of a positive a half. Right? So be very careful. When you find an alpha, alpha is always positive. I'll write that here too. Always positive value. Right? So yeah, it would be 45. So alpha is 45 degrees. So I'm going to draw my quadrants real quick. And like you said, my answers are going to be in the sine and cos quadrants. Right? So if I wanted, all I had to do was I could have just put the reference angles in those quadrants if I wanted. So it'll be 45 here, 45 here. Right. So when I'm going to find my answer, it would look something like that and something like that. So Kirsten, what is my answer in the second quadrant? What is my answer in the second quadrant? Drop in the chat. Okay, tell me why you say 90? So look at this, right, Kirsten? I'm putting the angles. This could be 0 degrees, could be 90 degrees, this could be 180 degrees, could be 270 degrees, and this could be 360 degrees. So we starting from 0 degrees and we go in 45 degrees before 180. The 315 is done, no? That's correct. That's the answer for the fourth quadrant. And I needed to tell me the answer in the second quadrant. So watch. It come like you go in 180 degrees, but you're stopping 45 degrees before. So what's the angle from here to here? 135, yeah. Yeah. So the answer in the second quadrant, that's 180 minus 45. The answer in the fourth quadrant, that is 360 minus 45. So my answers for x are 135, comma, 315. Those are my answers. Right, and of course, when you put that into tan, it's supposed to get -1. Right, so let me move on to something new now. Right, so we're gonna look at quadrants involving So Nicholas, if you feeling like our boss now, like you could lay down any
Of
question you
course.
get on this, like you could mash up that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you know where the quadrants come from now? They come from the graphs,
yeah.
right? So you're just simply better now. You're simply better.
Simply better.
Right.
Even every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we had to get more than 50 in our math test.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
yeah.
Let me write this question down. If you all if you all think you could do it, try to solve the question in the meantime. I'm gonna write the question because I don't like how the picture looking. So we could do I will do one question with you all, and then you all will try a question by yourself, and that'll be it for class today. Right? Next class, you're gonna move on to trigonometric equations. So given that, so we'll see if you all could solve this question in the meantime. So given that tan theta is 5/8 and sine theta is less than 0, evaluate sine theta and cos theta without using a calculator. Right. All right. So when you will see questions like this, I want you all to pull out the main information. That's what I want you all to do. So if you will try any question, pause and I'll do it with you all. Next question you all could do entirely by yourself. So Nicholas, they are saying that tan theta is positive or negative. That's the main thing we need to pull out. So we're gonna write something here. Information. All right, so Nicholas, we're gonna gather the information. Tan theta is positive or negative?
And theta is positive.
If it's positive, which quadrants could it possibly be in?
B in A and T.
Right. So it could be in the
Equal
first quadrant, or
to
right. All right, let me look at the second piece of information they give us. They are saying that sine theta is less than 0. If they are saying that sine theta is less than 0, they're saying that sine theta is what? What is less than 0? What does less than 0 mean?
less than 0 is negative.
So they're saying that sine theta is negative. Okay, where is sine theta negative? In which quadrants?
That is
The first or the third quadrant?
equal
Right. So that's how you go about choosing. Take that in one more time. First things first, tan theta is positive. It's 5/8. So that has to be in the first quadrant or the third quadrant. Nicholas, you're catching what what a throwing
Yeah, catching nature.
per chance.
Yeah, but
Oh my. All right. And for those who confused, I'm gonna just put in the diagram real quick. So they're telling us that tan theta is positive, right? So if tan theta is positive, it could either be in the first quadrant or it could be in the second quadrant. But now they're telling us that sine theta is negative. So if sine theta is negative, then it cannot be in the first quadrant. It has to be in the third quadrant. So I'll be dealing with the third quadrant in this question. And they want me to find sine theta and cos theta without using a calculator. So they want me to find sine theta. Sine theta will be positive or negative,
Sine theta will be negative.
right? And they want me to find cos theta. Cos theta will be positive or negative.
Cos theta, um, negative.
All right, so let me begin. So that's what I want you all to do anytime you see a question like this. Put down your information. Put down your information, please. Okay, right. Yeah, Nicholas, which quadrant am I dealing with?
Was that
Which quadrant am I working with?
the third quadrant?
Right, so look carefully at how I'm going to do this, eh? Look very carefully how I'm going to do this. Like real carefully. You careful?
Yeah, careful, careful.
Okay, so they're saying that tan theta is 5/8. First things first, I'm going to put on a right angle triangle and look how I'm putting it down. When you're drawing angles, it always starting from the origin and it goes to this line. So if I wanted to draw a right angle triangle in here, it would look like that. If I wanted to draw a right angle triangle here, it would look like this. Over here, it would look like this. So I'm going to draw a right angle triangle like this, right? Cool, cool. So you understand everything so far,
Yeah,
right? Now, tan, sine, cos, and tan. Those trig ratios only apply to what kind of triangles?
sine, cos, and right angle triangles.
Right, so you see I make a right angle triangle in the third quadrant. Very nice. And according to tan theta, right? According to tan theta in trig ratios is equal to what? Tan
Tan
theta,
theta is opposite over adjacent.
right. So we know what the length of the opposite is and we know what the length of the adjacent is.
Yeah,
Right? Okay. And when you're doing these questions, the angle is always over here. So if my angle is over there, this would be my, I'll label in my triangle now. What would this be?
that is the adjacent
No, this is the
or
hypotenuse.
the hypotenuse.
Come on, Nicholas. Come on.
Ooh, my brain cut off.
And what would this, what I call this?
That side is the adjacent.
This?
Is
All right, what we know the length of the adjacent is.
the adjacent is 8.
The opposite is.
The adjacent is 8 and the opposite is 5.
So here what? If I need to figure out for sine and cos, what I need to figure out? Sine and cos have what in it?
And cos is sine is opposite over hypotenuse and cos is adjacent over hypotenuse.
Yeah. So I need to figure out the hypotenuse.
Yeah,
Yeah, what? I have two lengths. I have 8 and 5, and I can figure out the hypotenuse.
yeah.
Right, using Pythagoras theorem. So what would h squared, h squared will be equal to what? Let's see if you
So
remember Pythagoras theorem.
H squared equals a squared plus b squared.
Well, I'll write it into the question one time. So
Alright,
Pythagoras theorem is given by a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared, where a is the hypotenuse. A is the hypotenuse, right? So 8 squared would be equal to 5 squared plus 8 squared. So then h will be equal to the what? Square root of that. So plug that into the calculator and tell me what value you get for h. You get an ugly answer.
I'll get root 89.
Let me just verify that that's the answer. Ugly answer. Yep, that's correct. Ugly answer. So h is equal to root 89. Mhm. Right, so now that we know what h is equal to root 89. And in odd maths, it typically leave your answer in the same form because that's the exact form, right? So h is equal to root 89. So Nicholas, now that I know what the hypotenuse is, could I find for sine and cos?
Yeah,
I could. So now, but let me keep something in mind, right? What quadrant am I in? What quadrant?
anything
I need third quadrant. So let me just put this in brackets here. Guys, we're in the third quadrant. And what's the only thing that is positive in the third quadrant?
done.
10 is the only thing positive there. So you'll see what I'm going to do. So sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So that'll be equal to the opposites, which is 5 over root 89. But notice I'm going to put a negative sign in front. You understand why I'm going to put a negative sign in front?
Yeah, because it's in the third quadrant.
Yeah, that's why. And for cos theta is equal to what?
Adjacent over hypotenuse.
What was the adjacent?
It,
Right, so my answer is negative 8 over root 89. Those are my answers. All right, so you all could copy this down. Could everybody see that?
yeah,
Okay, cool. Okay, so when doing these kind of questions, I'm gonna go through the general steps. If anybody confused, listen. Pull out the main pieces. They're telling us that tan theta is positive. If it's positive, automatically it's in the first or the third quadrant. Cool. Then it's saying sine is negative. If sine is negative, then that cancels out option one and leaves us with option three. So we need third quadrant. Then they want us to find sine theta and cos theta. If we need third quadrant, that means sine negative and cos negative. So whatever answer we find, we're going to make it negative. And it's telling us tan theta is 5 over 8. That means the opposite is 5 and the adjacent is 8. In the third quadrant, you're going to put down a right angle triangle. You're going to put down the angle. You're going to put the right angle. And you're going to label the triangle. You're going to label the hypotenuse adjacent and opposite. And then You have to find for your hypotenuse. Since you already have two sides, you use Pythagoras theorem to find for the hypotenuse, and then you could use trig ratios to find for sine and cos. Because sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, so 5 over root 89. But since it's in the third quadrant, we make it negative. Same story for cos. And that's it. Nicholas, you think you're able to try a question like this?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Didn't you do all of this stuff before?
Yeah, but it was in like form four, I think, starting up at form four. So these like a reminder.
Oh, okay. I see. And Kirsten, did you do this stuff in school as yet? Kirsten, I wonder if you did this stuff in school as yet. Yeah, Kirsten, did you ever did this stuff in school with trigonometry? Oh, you're doing this right now. That's real good timing. Nicholas, you know who Nara Smith is on TikTok?
I heard the name before.
That's the lady that always making everything from scratch.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know who's the one.
I don't know, I find she annoying.
Yeah, boy.
And like she's be whispering all the time, like making this. Like, bro,
I guess ASMR or something.
I find ASMR so annoying, but that's just me. Huh. Right, so as soon as you copy this down, let me know.
Yeah, almost. Try to
What is it?
try to
Okay, cool. I see somebody post up on TikTok, Maths and you, we have me like dying. And they literally just logs. The rules for logs. I laugh. Like that's so easy. You know what I mean? Because
say just normal logs.
yeah, normal logs, like nothing even hard. It's just like the rules. Like all of us know.
Oh,
The way I laugh, yes. If I show you the things I do in maths, it'd be like, way.
let me see.
It real easy though, real easy. Like if you know what you're doing, it real easy. It's nothing hard. I wouldn't call it hard. It only looking complicated, but it real simple. Like when I say it's simple, it's very, very simple. Like I learned this in one night, one
What
test.
the
Yeah,
heck?
yeah. So let me give you all a question. Hmm. See if you all could figure out this one. So given that cos theta is minus 7 over 12 and theta is obtuse, evaluate without using a calculator sine theta and tan theta. See if you all could get this one. Yeah, so try this question out. I'll put it on this page so you all could use it as a guide. Just nah, not gonna let me not say anything. I want you all to do it entirely by yourself. It don't make sense I tell you anything. Wouldn't benefit you all. Try this question here. Question 12. Kirsten, sure, that's a problem. Which topic you talking about? You're talking about the one with the quadrants? Okay, sure, I could send you some questions on that. I will forget, so let me see if I can send you it now. Yeah, Nicholas, you able to see question 12? Or like it too small?
Alguém menina não conseguiu.
You can see it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, Kirsten, I sent you our worksheet. So the worksheet there, I want you to find all the angles for x between 0 and 360. So the same steps in class. You have to follow. We mainly listing for January. Like the people sign up for exams and your name and that. Okay. What's the first exam you have? Math? Okay, okay. Then we had to do good in that. Over December, if I'm free, I could do some private sessions with you to catch you up to speed. We could look at in-person sessions because I know your Wi-Fi does be really bad. I'll have to discuss it with your dad. Yeah, if I'm down on South Side, we could have in-person sessions. Um, yeah. Nicholas, again, true? With question 12?
I think so.
Okay. So where did you draw your triangle? In which quadrant?
Second quadrant.
What does obtuse mean?
Obtuse is more than 90 but less than 180.
Right. It's less than 180. So if it's less than 180, it had to be between the first or the second quadrant.
Yeah.
And the only quadrant where cos is negative is the second one. Yeah. So you had to draw your triangle in the second quadrant. And what did you get for your opposite? What did you get for your opposite?
Opposite is root 95.
Say that again?
Root 95.
Root 95. Okay. I'm gonna tell you if that's correct. Yeah, you're doing good. Kirsten, over these few months, I have no time. Um, after I finish this class, I have 3 labs to finish and assignments to do. I have no time. My time is extremely scarce. December, I might have some free time. Okay, Nicholas. One thing though, could you recognize your mistake? Which
Um,
quadrant are you in?
oh,
Which quadrant are you in?
second version.
So which one will be negative?
Oh, um, tan hali be negative.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. So make a little mistake here. So tan theta is supposed to be okay. Now I didn't make a mistake. Look me negative right here. Tan theta is negative root 95 over 7, and sine theta is root 95 over 12. So excellent job. He's a boss. Kiara had to take notes. But I find like Kiara being studious these days though.
Fine, so
I don't know, it's weird. Cause like she doing work in work. That's news to me. I wonder what's good. I wonder what's going on.
I want that to
Something
even
happened. Seem fishy.
making a change in your life. Some big we're gonna end
Nah, it just seemed real weird, honestly. Hmm. I don't know if I trust it.
something.
And you all could try this question for homework, right? So I will send this question on the chat for homework. Right, but that's it, guys. Next class, we're gonna be looking at trigonometric. We're gonna be doing more questions like this, and we're gonna move on to trigonometric equations. Yeah. So have a great day today, guys. I see some of you all. I see some of you all Monday, and some
Yes.
of you all Friday. So later, everybody. Yeah.